Hi everyone and welcome to this webinar about student life and studies at University West. My name is Ebba Thorelsen and I work at the International Office, and the stars of this show are our current students, Mallika Kharel from Nepal, who studies Bachelors in International Mechanical Engineering, and Modika from Gambia, who studies Masters in Sustainable Development. You will hear a bit about their experiencing studying here at University West and in Sweden. And with me I also have Maddie from International Office, who will also help answer some questions that are not necessarily student related, but I feel like might be interesting for you guys at home, stuff you are wondering about. And in the beginning I will tell you shortly about Sweden, and then we move on to our stars of the show, as I said, and they will talk you a bit about their experience, and then we will end the webinar with a Q&A session. And feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A function in the Zoom during the webinar, and we will take them up in the beginning or the ending of the webinar, I'm sorry. And during the webinar, Maddie will also be answering some questions. So don't forget to ask your questions, and yeah, let's start. So, as I mentioned, I will shortly tell you about Sweden in a couple of minutes. So, some of you are probably quite familiar with Sweden since you are joining this webinar, but I will still go through it quickly. So Sweden is a part of Scandinavia in Europe, and it borders to Norway, Finland, and Denmark. And as you can see on the map here, it's quite a long country. It's 1,500 kilometers long, and that's about the same distance from Berlin to Moscow or Mumbai to Calcutta. So that's quite a long way. But even though we're a pretty large country, it has a pretty small population. Around 10 million people live in Sweden, in the whole country. And since it's quite big, but not that many people live here, we are sparsely populated with around 21 people per square kilometer. And compared to, for example, China, who has 134 people per square kilometers, that's quite a big difference. And compared to the rest of the European Union, who has 112 people per square kilometers, that gives you quite a good image of that there's quite a few people living here, but around 90% of those people live in the southern parts of Sweden. So that includes Stockholm, our capital, but also Gothenburg and Malmö, our three largest cities. And for example, some things you might know Sweden from is our nature and rich history. We have quite a lot of nature. As I mentioned, there's not that many people living here, so nature takes over quite sometimes. But we also are pretty good at equality and diversity. Almost everyone speaks English. That makes it easy to come here when you don't speak Swedish. And in general, we're a very safe, modern and organized country with a good public transport system. And you might know us from innovation. We have a lot of international businesses who are based in Sweden who originate from the country. And we have a good educational system. Hopefully our stars of the show will tell you a bit more about that. And our ways are pretty informal, and we're quite independent people in general. And Trollhättan is where University West is located. So welcome to Trollhättan. It's a pretty small city in the west coast of southern Sweden. So 60,000 people live here, and it's a pretty good, well-known tourist destination, mostly because you can see on the images the Göta River runs right through the center of the city. We also have huge waterfalls. That is a super popular tourist destination in the summer. Our campus is located in the city, in the center of Trollhättan, and really close to beautiful landscapes and, as I said, the Göta River. And it's also only 35 minutes away from Gothenburg, who is the second largest city in Sweden. And everything you need is close by. Some of you might live in huge cities where you have to travel long distances to get everything you need, but here everything is pretty close. We usually call it like a 15-minute city, where you have everything you need within 15 minutes from where you live. And it's also a very it's very tight with all the tech businesses here, because we have a history of industry here in Trollhättan. And here on the map, you can see a bit closer where Trollhättan is located. I don't know why, but this map is in Spanish, but you can see Trollhättan where the red pin is located. And there you also see Gothenburg, or Gothenburgo, as it says, where it's the second largest city, 30 minutes away. But then you also have Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, pretty close, and also Oslo, the capital of Norway. And shortly about University West. You might already know everything, but I'm going to talk you through a bit anyway. So here you have the campus in the summer, as I said, located in the center of Trollhättan. And it was founded in 1990, and it is government funded, like almost every university in Sweden. Here you can also see a map, a bit more illustrative, but over the campus, where you have the campus to your left maybe, and the Production Technology Center to your right, where we also have education in our more like engineering programs. You will also spend some time maybe at the PTC, as we call it. We have around 625 employees, 5,500 students on campus, and close to 60 professors at the university. Our profile is work integrated learning. It's the overall profile here at University West, and it stands for like the value of learning and exchanging knowledge with education and surrounding society. And it gets you as a student to process knowledge not only in academia, but also in connection with greater society. And cooperation and integration is the focus of the university, and it has been since 2002, where we were commissioned by the government to develop work integrated learning. Our campus is pretty small scale and informal. As I mentioned, we are quite informal in general here in Sweden. We have a high teacher-to-student ratio and many open doors, which means that students have a close way to interact with their teachers. And as I mentioned, the way of communication is usually pretty informal. We call each other by names and not by title. It's very common here in Sweden. So at the campus, it's very close to the central station and the town square here in Trollhättan. And you also have Production Technology Center, as I mentioned, just a kilometer-ish away. We have a service center where you can get all the help you need during the day. We have a very updated and nice library and a lot of lecture and study rooms equipped with the latest technology. We also have group rooms for students to book. And we have many places scattered around campus for students to study at, and also computer rooms if you need that technology during your studies. And just short about the PTC, it's one of Sweden's biggest and newest labs within technology, where students and teachers and industry meet within the areas of welding, thermal spray, additive manufacturing, and machining and robotics and such engineering subjects. And it's also the home of our team of researchers, Production Technology West. And in this arena, we have education and research and industry meet at the same place and working with the same technology. And it's a very innovative place. So that was enough about like the background. And now I welcome Modika up to speak a bit about his experience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Eva. And hello from Sweden. My name is Modika. I am from the Gambia. From the Gambia Smiling Coast. When we say the Gambia, we mean the Smiling Coast of Africa. And I studied in the Gambia Bachelors in Development Studies. And I also equally further to study English language. And I have been a teacher for a quite while now in the Gambia. And from there, I taught for almost 15 years. Then I moved to the National Assembly of the Gambia, where I was serving as a parliamentary researcher. And then I came to Sweden August 2020 to pursue a master's degree in sustainable development. So to answer the question, why Sweden? I choose Sweden as a student of sustainability because Sweden offers unique and standard education system. Now, for those who did not know, when you looked at the education system in Sweden, it is unique and standard for the fact that it is imbued with innovation. The previous speaker, if you have heard her, she said that, they have a lab, and the lab in Sweden here, it is the largest lab so far. So therefore, we said it has also sustainability standard and practices. This is very essential because if you looked in the Nordic, Sweden stands as the 5th country, or it is part of the 5th country in the Nordics that uphold the principles and the value of sustainable development. So for me, as my profession dictates, I've been longing and looking at, to contribute to the development challenges that Africa is faced with. So I constantly, conduct research to look at, institutions, in Europe where I can further my education. And Sweden happens to be the country. But again, most importantly, I got a scholarship from the Svenska Institute. I will say I am an SI scholar. So this is the major reason why I choose Sweden. But again, prior to choosing Sweden, it was one of my main targets as a student. So when we talk about sustainability, we talk about the economic, we talk about the ecological, and as well as we also talk about the social sustainability. And as Africa is faced with so many development challenges, so I choose this particular place to at least, broaden my educational horizon, as well as also, to abreast myself so that I will effectively contribute. Now, coming back to Sweden a bit, when you looked at Sweden, they have a significant strike in the transitions to a renewable energy and also reducing carbon emission. So this is a conspicuous fact. And if you live in Sweden, you will know that Sweden is championing the principle and is leading in sustainability. So this is what motivates me as a student to come and study sustainable development in Sweden. Now, why sustainable development? When you look at sustainable development, again, as I have said, it talks about the TBL. Those are planet, the people, and the profits. So when you look at now, as we are exceeding the limits of the planetary boundary, so there is a need for us to upgrade our academic standing and also to heighten the advocacy around climate change and also to encourage people to live in a more sustainable life. So if you looked at companies, industries are striking to make profits and using what we call the greenwashing. So in order to contribute effectively to the national development of my country and also to be an example in a sustainable model, I choose sustainable development. Now, moving forward, University West, which is very dearing to me because I say University West is my second home. And why did I choose University West? University West is a world-class university, right, with a unique learning opportunity. And when I say it's a world-class university, it simply means it's a university that, championing the cause of not only sustainability, but also there is a educational learning approach called the work-integrated learning. In University West, students are molded in a way they easily transit their theoretical knowledge into, practical. So this makes University West a model and also a champions in the academic arena. Just recently, for your information, University West was awarded by the European Union, as the EU Star Award. And that is an award that shows that University West is striking to the national and as well as the international development because it is molding students. So, and also it offers unique, courses. When I say unique courses, if you looked at society, we have what we call societal wicked problems. And what are these wicked problems? These are problems that, we ought to solve, we ought to mitigate. So universities are built to solve problems. So University West came with courses like robotics, automations, like international mechanical engineering. These are tailor-made courses that shape our students and also enable the students to easily enter into the industry. So this is why if you are observing most of the adverts, you will realize that University West is a center for productions and technology, and it's a home of it has a partnership, a very strong partnership with companies like IKEA, with companies like Volvo, with companies like GKN. These are international businesses, that are known, and you'll be surprised to know these businesses are, they are from Sweden. As the previous presenter have said, Sweden is a home for international business. So University West was able to get a giant strike, in connecting and collaborating with these universities, with these companies, so that students can easily translate their educations from theoretical to practical. And now, the most important aspects why I choose University West as a student is the cultural inclusion. This is very daring to me. You have students from all over the world. Students from, Nepal, students from Gambia, students from all over the world. So therefore, there is this cultural inclusion. Students, are together and students accept each other. There are social programs where when you meet students, you cannot able to distinguish who is who. So these and others are the main reasons why I decided to choose University West, and also to shape my academic professional and to grow in the community. Now, from there, we talked about work integrated learning, and this is the unique education opportunity that University West is offering, that other universities around the world are not offering. And when we talk about work-integrated learning, what do we talk about? We say it's an educational approach and unique learning programs that promote the transitions from theory to knowledge. Education does not only stop within the limits of the classroom walls, but it goes far beyond the classrooms. And in University West, this wheel, which is called the work integrated learning, it connects, companies, it connects the students to companies, it connects the students, to learn and also, to practicalize the knowledge. This is why we said students at University West, they enjoy optimal conditions for achieving their academic and professional performance. And this University West, this work-integrated learning, it attracts companies like Volvo, companies like Scania, which are from Sweden. They have programs with the university, and students easily conduct internships, students easily conduct field trips, and also there is an employment opportunities. This year, I think I was going through the statistics and I realized that many students from University West, particularly those in the engineering, they easily transit when they finish their education, they easily get jobs at these companies. So this is very important. And from there, we talked about, when you talk about work integrated, it's specifically centered on collaborations where the students is between the university and the institution or the industry. And in these aspects, when students translate the learning from theory to practical, then we say a new knowledge is created. So as students of University West, I am fortunate and I am lucky to be part of this university and to learn, to have interacted with my professors and to, conceptualize the work-integrated concepts, which is now changing me and making me a better student. Now, from there, we talked about my experience as a student. And in my initial introduction, I said University West campus is a home for me. It's very safe. It's very friendly, as you can see from the pictures. The picture says it all. Students are very open, students are very friendly, and there are programs all over. We have fikas, we have social gatherings, and this is where students will discuss, exchange some cultural aspects. And also, the most important aspect of the university is, it is very friendly and it is conducive for learning. Conducive in the sense that because it is fitted with state-of-the-art library. I used to call it in my own terms, the digital library. If sometimes I am bored at home or I am bored within the university for the fact that maybe I have, I've been here for long, I can just go home and I will carry along the university to my house. So this is why I say it's a digital library. And also we have another interesting services we call the service center. The service center, it offers a range of services and activities. That's to say, they collaborate with the students, they assist students in so many aspects, when it comes to your academic activities. The lecturers, I have a very good experience when it comes to the lecturers, because in University West, I can say all my lecturers are my friends. And interestingly, back home, there is a gap between the lecturers and the students. But in Sweden, interestingly, particularly University West, lecturers are very open. Open in the sense that, you don't address them as professors. You don't address them as sirs. But what do? You address them as by their name. So this bring, mutual unity and closeness between you and your lecturers. And if you send them emails within a blink of an eye, they will send you a reply. So this is one of the most interesting things when it comes to my professors, and then from there, we looked at the cultural inclusions, the diversity and learning in seminars. If you can look at the picture, you can see, there is this cultural diversity. There is an avenue where students are introduced to seminar, introduced to presentations, and if you go outside, you will find students are seated in the campus. So this and others are very essential aspects. And coming to this last slide, which has to do with my experience and a bit of work integrated learning. This is a field trip that I embarked on with my professors and my colleagues. And as a student of work integrated learning and as a Swedish Institute scholar, I was lucky to visit the Volvo Museum. As you can see, I went to the Volvo Museum. I also went to Sweco in Gothenburg. I was equally lucky to go to Costas Island, where I spent 1 week on a sustainability trip. So if you can see the picture, you see it is very lively. We have biking, and also during our trip, we had a campfire and a whole lot of issues. So in University West, I will confidently tell you, the jargon which says, not, all play, no work, make Jacks a dull boy. So here you have the avenue to learn, and you are not stressed. At the same time, you have the pleasure also to go out and interact with your peers. So as a student of University West, I will, echo my voice and say, University West is the deal. And, thank you so much for listening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mallika Kharel, and I'm from Nepal. I did my high school back in Nepal. I got my high school degree in science. I did physics. I'm currently doing a bachelor's in mechanical engineering here in University West. I've been in Sweden since October 2021, and I started my bachelor's from January 2022 in University West. And I'm also an international ambassador, student ambassador here. And you can see me in the service center sometimes if you come to the university. And I'm also starting my internship soon. I'll be starting from March 4th. Hopefully it will be good. So, why did I choose Sweden? So, for me, back in my country during 2020 and those time, Sweden was not really popular. Not many people knew about Sweden. Canada and Australia, they were like everyone's choices. So they were my first choices as well. But while giving my +2 exams, COVID hit and my exams kept on getting postponed. So I had a lot of time to carefully choose which country I want to go. And then I have someone I know from Nepal here who did his bachelor's and got 2 master's degree in Sweden, both in international and Swedish course as well. So I got touch with him and he told me about why should I choose Sweden if I want to have my career in mechanical engineering. So after I talked to him, I did my own research because I wanted to know by myself as well. So I got to know that there are like many international programs that I could choose from in Sweden. And for mechanical students, it is like a very great career destination as well, because you can see there are many international companies like it has been introduced before. And there are many manufacturing and production companies as well. And the nature here is beautiful. In summer, it's especially so much beautiful. Now, why University West? So when I chose coming to Sweden, I was thinking about either going to Stockholm or Gothenburg because those were big cities and there are like many universities to choose from. So those were my first choices. But again, due to COVID, my exams were like done late. So at that time, every university application was already closed. And then I found University West because they had like application open for late application. And I researched again about University West. So I got to know about work integrated learning. And in my country, I don't think there's like many bachelor's program that gives you internships. So you don't have to do internships in many courses, but here we have like opportunity for doing internship. So this is like you get to know about the place before you are sit there. And there are many laboratory works and group assignments. So you will be put in groups. As you know, when you go to work later, so you won't be doing everything alone. You will have a team, so you need to know how to function in a team. So this is a great way to learn. And there are many collaborations that the University West does with many companies, and it's beneficial for us students as well because that's how we get internship more easily. And then it also bridges the gap between academic and industry. And it provides you with University West, it provides you with the great student life experiences that I'll be telling you afterwards. And you have an internship period, or you can do either internship or you can go for exchange studies. So it is a win-win situation in both. And there are many computer rooms. So the computer rooms is like available for you anytime. If you have anything lab-related stuffs, then you can just have your card activated. You have a University West card, so you can use it to use the computer rooms and all. And we have this great concept called flipped classroom. So it's not like you just sit in a class and listen to the teacher, but you can get to interact. They will provide you with a topic and you can put on your own thoughts, and then your teacher are gonna like say if the thoughts are good and give comments on it. So that's really good as well. And Sweden, they give you health insurance. So yeah. Now next slide. So, student life in University West. So, the university, they plan many activities for students that you can join so that you can create friendship with other students who are international as well. And everyone is far from their home, far from their family. So, you kind of have a bridge that connects you. And we have activities like Fika, see you at 4. So it's every Tuesday where every international student and Swedish students as well join. And then they play board games and then interact with each other. And we have student union. You can be a member of student union and go to their meetings as well. And you can suggest them like what activities you would like to see. So if you are a fee-paying student, so you are already a member, student union member. But if you're not a fee-paying student, you can become a member as well. And there are Thursday pubs. It happens like every Thursday. It is also done by ISC. And we have this buddy program as well. So you'll be put in groups and you can meet other international students, your course or other courses as well. And there will be few old students. So you will have every week's activity and you will get an activity every Wednesday and you guys plan together to do the activity. So it's not compulsory that you have to attend everything. It's your choice. If you want to attend, then you can. If you don't want, you don't need to. And you have Swedish language lessons as well every Monday. So it's after school, it's at 5. So you can join those as well. Now, these are like only few companies that everyone knows. It's in both Trollhättan and Gothenburg. There are many others as well, but I only choose this 4. There are also car museums as well. So it's very good for people who love cars. And PTC, so it's only 15 to 20 minutes walk from University West, and it will take only 4 to 5 minutes from bus also. So University West, they have a research group in PTC that does research in different fields like welding, thermal spray, additive manufacturing, and all. And you can also get an internship or a thesis project in this PTC. Yeah. And then automation lab. So this is a new lab we have in University West. It was before in PTC, but they moved it in our university. So they have this robot arms, 5 or 6 of them. And then it's ABB Industrial Robots. Yeah, so it's really good for robotics students, and even us in mechanical engineering, you have a course in robotics, so you'll get to use this lab as well, and it's really, really fun. So we have this opportunity in University West, so it's internship and study abroad. So even if you are an international student, you can still go to be an exchange student in other universities, partner universities, or other countries. So, and you also get scholarship from university, and it is the same for internship. You can either get an internship yourself, or you can also get one from the university. Your course manager, they can provide you with some internship companies. So, you can also apply for Erasmus Plus traineeship if you do internship abroad. So if you want like more information on this, there is a link as well. Or you can just go to University West page, and then you can search there as well. And yeah, and you will, as an international student, you will get a certificate of international merits. So it will look very good for your CV. And yeah, you can sign up for the certificate when you are doing your studies here in University West. Again, if you want to know more about it, there is a link there. And these are what some of the current students have to say about their student experience in University West. So you can just look at the screen. There are like third-year students here right now. And there's some more. Yeah, so this is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mallika, and also thank you so much, Modika. We can switch place quickly. So thank you so much both for the presentation, and I feel like hopefully it's really appreciated. I really appreciated it. But also, I would like to remind you guys to send your question in the Q&A session if you have any questions so far. But before I will be able to see them, I can just start with a question regarding what do you do when you're not studying? So if you have any time.
Yeah, so I do part-time, like, and then also I'll also do some extra work in service center. So it's either studies, part-time. Even after that, I have a lot of time left because I don't work every time. So if I'm not doing those, then I go to Gothenburg for some sightseeing or shopping or Uddevalla. Yeah.
What do you do when you're not studying?
I equally work as a part-timer.
Huh?
But looking at the nature of Sweden, I like being adventurous, like going around. So I also do biking. So when I am not, I'm engaged, so I go out and then explore Sweden because it's a great country.
Yeah.
That one can be.
Good to hear. Let's see if we have any questions. As an international student, language barriers can vary, but with support services and language courses... Oh, it disappeared.
Okay. It's talking about the...
Scroll upp lite, Marcus. Sorry, there we go. Courses offered by university. Is it typically a major issue? Have you guys experienced any issues with the English language?
No, like at first they obviously try to speak to you in Swedish, but if you tell them that I'm sorry, I cannot speak Swedish, then they will be very happy to help you with English as well, as everyone know English, and even if they are like old people or anyone, they can speak English. So I don't think it's that much of a problem.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem because virtually all Swedes speaks English. And for me, I equally try to, integrate and speak Swedish. So, and Swedish, when you speak to them in Swedish, they are happy. I'm almost 2 years here, but you prata svenska nu.
That's really good.
So, you know, it has no problem. Swedes will speak to you in Swedish, in English, so there is no language barrier. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Approximately, you guys study different programs, but how many courses do you have during, or lectures do you have on an average week?
Basically, this is what makes University West and Sweden a great country. Previously, you know, other places or other countries, you have 6 courses per semester, where you are piled with, you know, a lot of assignments, a lot of these things. But in Sweden here, like normally per week, I will have only 2 courses and then two lessons. And those 2 lessons normally 2 hours, 30 minutes. So learning is quite easy here.
So it's a lot of free time
as compared to other place. And you do 1 course at a time. 1 month you finish a course, the second month you go, instead of doing 6 courses, and you end up getting, you know, failing them. So here it's relatively fine.
Yeah, so it's very common abroad. I've noticed that courses run at the same time on top of each other, but here they run one at a time.
One at a time.
How is it with your program?
For me, we have a lot of classes, but not that much. So even if we have like 1 or 2 classes per day, so if you have 2 classes, for example, we will finish by 3. So you still have a lot of time left to do whatever you want. Or sometimes we only have 1 classes that's still 12 or 10. So it definitely varies,
It varies a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see we've gotten a question about when application closes. So officially it has closed, but we are keeping applications open for a bit longer. So you can still apply for all the programs that are starting in the fall this year. I'm so used to thinking 1 year ahead, but you can still apply now to start in the fall if you haven't applied yet.
There's a question also.
Oh,
like the university policies on international students.
So university, what is the post-graduation policy for international students that may not want to go back to their home country immediately after graduation? So the university doesn't have any specific policies for this, but I know that Migrationsverket or the Migration Board have some specific posts that needs to be filled. I'm not really sure about it.
So you can like apply for a work-seeking visa. So that lasts for like a year. So you get a 1-year work-seeking visa, but you have to apply for it.
That's good.
After you finish your course, that is.
Yeah.
So virtually the university has no policy.
No.
And then, but you know, as you have said, the migration. And then the migration also have given you the leverage for you to apply what we call extension. An extension in the sense that a work permit visa, you know, where you can apply for 1 year and you will be granted and then you seek for work. So if you get work, you can, you know, integrate easily.
Perfect.
So
that's perfect. So how big is the cybersecurity industry in Sweden? None of us are specifically like really pros with cybersecurity, but I would say in general that Sweden is, as we talked about, in the forefront in a lot of technologies, and that does include cybersecurity. And if you have any more like specific question about it, please feel free to ask the questions in the email, and then we can forward it to the right person, and we will try to get you a good answer as possible. And that regards to any questions that you feel that we didn't answer, please send them to our email address and we will get in depth. We might not be able to answer any or every question. But we talked a bit about like having a lot of free time in your schedule. Do you guys, how does your like particular lecture look? Do you leave there with a lot of like homework or group project, or how do you schedule your free time, which when you study, how does your free studies usually look?
So it mostly depends on the course. So sometimes the course teacher, they give you weekly assignments, where some teacher, they only have like 1 group assignment and then 1 exam, or sometimes there is no exam but you have to pass the individual assignments. So yeah, it definitely depends per the course.
Yeah, it depends, as I have said. like for the course of sustainability, you know, we hardly have exams, but we have individual reflections. And it is very flexible in the way it is designed. So you can realize if you're free, you can easily do your assignments, and it has nothing to do with the pressures at the university or whatever. So it is well designed. And interestingly, again, which I forgot to mention, was we have these hybrid lectures, you know, as part of work integrated, you know, where, you you interact with professors all over the world, from Canada, America, you know, Denmark. They will be, you know, teaching you while, you know, under the supervision of your lecturer. So this also is a very important aspect in addition to our presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Mallika? Have you had any contact with the outer world during your studies?
We don't have like lecturers from other countries. We had one, but he came to Sweden personally, and he came to University West, and he taught us like on site. But we do have like distance student in few courses. So for those distance course who have like distance students, they have online classes as well. And right now, my friends have already started that internship. So we have both hybrid and on-site. So if you are available, then you can come to the university, or you can just join via Zoom. So it's really good.
I see we got in a question about sports, and we don't like have organized sports at the university, but some activities might include sports at the International Student Committee or at the Student Union.
Yeah, they have like they go to basketball or table tennis. So you just have to join the ISC group, and then they have these activities for you.
Yeah.
Likewise. Yeah.
And we also have a thing called Fritidsbanken. Have you guys tried it?
In fact, that's what currently I am enjoying.
It's
because
great.
It's
Tell us about
20 minutes walk from here, and then, you know, it's like you go and just, you know, tender your ID, and you are given a bike for free. And then that bike, you will renew. It depends on agreement. It depends for 2 weeks, for 1 week. And then you will just take it. They will see it. They will say, oh, Modika, your bike is okay. Then you go. So you can see you got a bike at a very, very free cost. So it's also very interesting.
Yeah. It's run by the city of Trollhättan. And you can borrow ice skates in the winter, or you can borrow a football or shoes for playing soccer, or you can borrow a lot of free sports equipment from the city. So that's a great way to spend more time outside. So how was your... I know when you're coming here, you paint an image in your head of how it will be. Did anything shock you arriving to Sweden?
Virtually something shocked me, and that is the weather.
The weather?
I was prepared for it though. When I was coming, I was told Sweden is one of the coldest country in the Nordic. So I started buying clothes. But when I came, it shocks me. And interestingly, again, the darkness. The darkness was another issue. But I am now able to internalize it. But that was the biggest shock I have.
How do you even get winter clothes in Gambia?
Normally we have these second-hand clothes that are, you know, ordered from Europe, back these things. So they are, you know, you can easily access them.
Smart.
So when I came, I got some, and also there are second-hand shops here that are selling some second-hand clothes.
It's a great way to get clothes. How about you?
For me, the first thing is weather as well, because it gets like too warm in my country. And when I came here, like I obviously contacted the people that I know, and they were like, it's not that cold, it's just gonna be like a little bit cold. So I was not dressed heavily, but it was too cold when I landed. And obviously the dark, it gets on winter, it gets like dark too fast. And then the other is how quiet the city is. So I was not used to it at all, because back in my country it's really noisy, and here suddenly everything was so quiet. And then the third thing is obviously interaction between the teacher and students. So we don't have to call them sir or anything, we need to call them by their name. But I still cannot call them by their name, because till now I have never called any teachers back in my country by their name. So that's still, I have not.
It takes quite a while, I'm guessing.
But again, when you talk about the winter as a first-timer, you know, you may be shocked, but it's also very interesting, and also especially when it's snow, going out skipping, and also taking pictures on the winter, something that I found very interesting. Yes.
We got kind of a great amount of snow this year, I think. But now you can feel the spring coming. You can hear it on the birds, and it's getting lighter. Finally. So I'm just going to see, Marcus, is there any questions in the Q&A? This is the chat I'm seeing. Or is it where all the questions are coming in?
Accommodation.
Yeah. Perfect. It's a bit small text though. Okay, we can talk a bit about accommodation. I saw someone mentioning it. We have specific contacts if you need any like specific information about how to get an accommodation. But maybe you guys can tell us a bit about your experience. How did you first get an accommodation and how do you live and how does it feel?
Yes, for me it was an easy transit because I usually get emails, you know, when I was back in Banjul, you know, with regards to my accommodation. So virtually the Univeristy West International Office facilitated my accommodations. The only thing I did when I came was just to come around and pick my keys and to be directed to my place. So when it comes to accommodation in Univeristy West, you know, the International Office take care of it. And there is a company called IDAR, which is a very good company. And, you know, they have a very, you know, good services. So that's where currently I am staying. Yeah.
For me, I did not have to worry about accommodation because I knew someone, like a family friend, so I'm living with them. So I did not have to go through the accommodation emails and stuff. So it's different. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can relate to him, no.
No, so we do have this accommodation help at hand here at the International Office. And you can send any accommodation questions to accommodation@universitywest.se. Maddie, is that correct? Yes. So just exchange study for accommodation and then you can send all your accommodation questions to us here.
Someone is asking my SI scholar.
So Modika, how did you acquire this scholarship from SI?
I will first of all, if I complete this program without thanking the Svenska Institutes, I will not do justice to myself because it is them that helped me to be here. But when it comes to the SI scholarship, it's strictly based on competence because the SI scholarship is premised on, you know, young professionals, more specifically in the developing countries. So it's very competitive. I applied, and because of my professional experience, you know, I was able to get it because it is based on networking. You have to, you know, have an impact back in your home country. You join association, you become an agent of change, and also you must have also at least work in your country in a specific time. This is why if you are applying for SI, it is very rigorous. You have forms that you prove of your work experience. You have forms that you prove your leadership experience, and also you have to have references from, you know, people that will attest that, yes, you are a change maker. Yes, you know, you have been working and you have also been impacting. So there are two keywords when you are applying for SI. You have to be a change maker and also you have to be a professional development professional back your home. So it was not on silver platter. It was very hectic, but I got it.
Yes. And you can find the links to the scholarship on our webpage. If you just search for scholarship in the search bar, you should find it. But it's also linked on each program page. You can find more information on the SI page also, which stands for the Swedish Institute. And I see we also gotten a question about how accommodation costs on campus. A lot of our accommodation is spread out through the city, but as we talked about, it's a pretty small city, so it's pretty close. So how long does it take for you guys to get here in the morning?
For me, it takes only 20 minutes, you know, and with the bike, it takes 5 minutes. So it is very close. And for now, the University West, they with collaborations with IDAR, they have, you know, campus accommodation just at the back. So you can see, you can virtually reside in the school because the accommodations or the, you know, accommodations and the university is now in one place. Yeah. So with regards to the distance, there is no problem with it now.
How about you?
For me, it's 15 minutes from bus, but if you have your own car, then it's only 7 minutes. So it's not that far as well. No.
And you could bike if you borrowed one from the fritidsbanken.
But with bike, it might take 30 minutes. So yeah, the bus is good for me.
It's a bit
30 to 45 minutes,
maybe, also the prices vary depending on where you live. You can also, maybe Maddie could send some information about that in the chat, but also if you have any specific cost questions, as I said, don't be afraid to send all our friends at the International Office the questions at accommodation.
Yes.
And so we talked a bit about the relationship with the teachers, that it feels quite informal and freeing. How would you say that the relationship in the classroom in general with your classmates, how does that feel? You are from all over the world. How does that work?
When I came first, we had a course, Ethics of Sustainable Development, and that course was meant to prepare us. We were sorted in groups. And that grouping, it really helped us because we were pitching ideas. So virtually the educations in university or at Univeristy West, it is based on seminar, it's based on presentations, it's based on group learnings. So this is what makes it very easy, despite you come from wherever you come. Somebody from Bangladesh, the other one is from the Gambia, the other one is from the Ghana. You do an assignment that is a group work, and then you submit it.
Yeah. So you need to work on the collaboration.
Collaboration is very essential. And also the university academic policy, emphasizes collaborations because individual learning here, I have not seen it. I learn faster and better by interacting with my friends. Yes.
How about you, Mallika?
For me, at first I was scared because there was no one from Nepal and I was the only one. So I thought it was going to be a bit problematic for me. Like, I'm not that extrovert. So I thought I won't be friendlier with people very soon, but that was not the case, obviously. So like he said, we had group works, many group works, like it's either assignment or labs. So I had to work in groups. So I think that was really good. And we don't have a lot of students in our class, so it's like a closed group. So you know each and everyone. So we also have classes that we do outside. Not the classes, but we meet outside after classes and then we do group studies and all. So yeah, it was really easy to bond with everyone.
That's good to hear. And how large is your class?
Initially, we were up to 15. And what virtually as academic progresses, it slides down up to 9. What it's a very conducive class. And interestingly, when it comes to the classes, they are fitted with state-of-the-art, equipments that makes it very conducive, the projectors and all other learning materials. So the class was a sizable number.
I have something to say as well. So for few classes, we had a collaboration with Swedish classes as well. So it was not only us, but the student from the Swedish mechanical engineering as well. And even there we had group works. So I thought it would be kind of, because we were brought in the class suddenly. We were not there from beginning of the course. But still, it went really good. And we got to know about the Swedish classes as well. So yeah, that was a new experience.
Did you experience it was a difference collaborating with international students and Swedish students?
No, because they know everything. They can talk in English. So it was not that much of a problem. Yeah, so it was really fun though, those classes.
Have you had any?
And when it comes to multicultural, collaborations, I will openly say this: the Swedes are the sweetest people when I say, because they are very kind, very friendly, and they will always, feel proud to help. Are you okay? Is everything well? These are the words you hear from Swedes.
That's nice.
So in our class we have almost three of them, and they are very open, and also they are very helpful. They will always want to make you feel home.
That's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. So I see Maddie has sent some information regarding accommodation. So if you feel like you have any more questions about it, you can find the link in the chat now. And I also see a question about application period. So we usually keep it open the entirety of March. So if you are finished with your documents during the period of March, application should be open in the ending of March. Beginning of April is usually when we close it. That's good to know. And let's see if we have gotten any more questions. Does University West offer bridge course students with gap to help them transition back to academics? I'm not really sure. Do you guys happen to know?
I don't know. For me, there was no gaps in between.
No.
But I know that there are few students that worked in between or that did not do anything in between. But if you have the basic requirements for the course met, then I think you will get a chance. I'm not that sure though, no.
And so this might not be our specific field of interest and knowledge. So once again, send your questions that we didn't answer to the email address behind us, or scan the QR code, and you will get to a form where you can send your questions, and we will help answer them better. And we are getting really close to ending the webinar. So if you have any last questions, now's your last chance to send them in the chat. And while people are scrambling their last questions, I will ask you guys, do you have any specific tips for anyone thinking of going here? What would you recommend they do before leaving, packing, or when they get here? It's a very broad question, but do you think
warm clothes?
Warm clothes
first, yeah. And if you are from Asian, pack your spices as well. Because, that's it.
Yes, when it comes to packing to come, clothes are important, because that was my secret. I can remember the first day I came, how I feel, having coming from a place which is sometimes 32 degrees. So the clothes are very important. But again, in addition to your question, University West, they have what they call the going up, which I am the champion of the going up. So in that aspect, I'm sure with time, those admitted in the university, we will able to further our discussions and help them and guide them when it comes to relocation. It has been championed by University West going up for the students that are already been taken. Yes.
Yeah. And also have good contact with international office. If you find anything difficult, we will try to do our best to help. And we also have a lot of support on campus also for students that is totally free in Sweden. For example, we have Studenthälsan, it's the student health service, where you can schedule talks if you are finding the darkness and the cold extra difficult. You can meet them to talk about how you're feeling. We also have help with if you need help with maths, for example, if you study the engineering programs. So we do offer a lot of support on campus also, if you are struggling with the weather or with the studies when you get here. So that's also good to know. Yes, not really sure about the message saying qualified, what it actually means, but send the questions to us in the email address. There we got one. Is Asian food available in Trollhättan?
Yeah. There are Indian restaurants and Thai restaurants, other Asian restaurants here. So it is. And if you want to buy Indian spices, then you have many stores in Gothenburg, Indian stores and Chinese stores. So you can find them.
How have you experienced the food in Trollhättan and Sweden?
Yes, I like integrating. And I am enjoying the food. But beside that also, it is easy to access, African food. We have Afro groceries all over in Trollhättan, and also there is another Afro grocery in Gothenburg. So the choice is if you feel that, you want to buy African stuff, you can easily get it here. But Swedes, they got a very good food.
If you forgot your spices, you can either eat Swedish food or buy them at markets here in Sweden. So I think we say thank you for everyone joining, and of course an extra big thank you to you guys who have been here. I feel like it's been greatly appreciated, and thank you so much for joining. Don't hesitate to ask us any question via email if you forgot to ask anything or if anything was unclear. And thank you guys once again.
Thank you so much.